Hi, everyone. Welcome to your show, Coffee with Experts. This is your host, Ranmay Rath. And today we have Seth Goldstein, who's the founder of Goldstein Media with us. Hey, Seth, how's it going?
How's it going, Ranmay? Thanks for having me on.
Great, yeah. Seth, before we move any forward, let's get to the human behind the mic. Why don't you talk us through your journey? Why didn't you land? How did you land up in the digital marketing space? And more about your agency as well. And we kick it off from there.
Awesome. So I'm actually a former, I'd say, recovering journalist. So I was a journalist for 6+ years out of college from newspapers. Remember those, the papers? I wrote for newspapers for 6 years, burned out massively. On the side during that time, I was doing websites for people, for myself, building out, playing with technology. So I left the journalism world, did a brief stint in sales for a little bit. So I didn't like the sales aspect. I like the sales aspect, just not what I was selling. And so I decided, let me go into web design. So I started my company in 2008, the best time during a financial crisis, but started a business on a credit card and ran with it. It's been 16 years plus. We've gone in from web design to SEO, to paid search, paid social, email marketing. We've become a full agency in 16, 17 years. So it's been a wild ride.
Lovely. Quite a journey, I must say.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a journey. Yeah.
And then you did mention about starting your business around the financial crisis of 2007, 2008. Not really the best time.
Best time to get a
Challenges.
job either. It's not the best time to get a job
Yeah.
either. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna sit on your butt and not do anything, or you're gonna start something and get rocking and rolling with it.
And then what are your strategies say that you use to build a strong and motivated team at Goldstein Media at your agency?
Just give them autonomy. Honestly, trust that they're gonna do the job right. Give them guidance when they need it, and let them run with it. And I'm pretty much the project manager on the projects. I have my designers that help me build out my vision for the client, and I have the developers that can help me build out the technical side of things. So it's fun to be creative.
Absolutely, it is. That is the best part about the industry. That you all can think through new things coming up all the time. So you got to be on your toes at all times, right?
Oh, I'm on my toes constantly. I'm actually sitting down for the first time today. So granted, I have a standing desk. Bad joke, but I have a standing desk. So I'm sitting now, but literally, like, I'm always running around between meetings and this and that. And it's like the technology changes especially with AI, it changes every 5 minutes, it seems.
Yeah. And you touched upon AI, which is a very important point to discuss on. At your agency, what are the best use of AI, or let's say, what are the tools that you are using to ensure that the AI automation is in place?
The idea behind AI, at least my viewpoint, is that it's a good aid. It's not going to replace everyone. It's going to help make things go faster, help audit code better. It's going to help you get past that white page phenomenon, that phobia of the white page, to give you some ideas to start writing about, and then you can expound upon it. But like, I'm a very big proponent of saying, don't just take the AI and put it online. No one benefits from putting that crap online. It's like a third grader. You got to put it in your own voice, remove it around a little bit and whatnot. But ultimately, AI is a great starting point, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, it is not the final deliverable product, at least as of yet. Humanization of it is absolutely important.
It's when it's telling you to put glue on your pizza or jump off the Golden Gate Bridge, it's not ready for prime time.
Yeah. And then you have worked with numerous startups, right?
Yes.
So what are some of from a digital marketing perspective, what are some of the mistakes that see them make early on, and how do you feel that they can be avoided?
I think a big part of with early stage startups, and I made this mistake too, is get too excited, move too fast. I was just talking with one of my startups I'm advising right now, and I was saying, guys, you guys got to take a deep breath. It might not happen. Funding might not happen tomorrow. It might happen tomorrow, might not happen in the next few weeks. It might happen in a few months. But in that meantime, improve the product, improve your team, improve the idea, and just take a beat every once in a while. Just like chill. I remember when I started Goldstein Media, I was like, let me do this, let me do that, let me do this, let me do that. And when you do everything, you're a jack of all trades, master of none. So
absolutely. And then talking about startups, they struggle with long-term sustainability, right? So what do you feel are some of the key factors that contribute to a startup's long-term success? Everyone gets initial investment and they see it flying in those initial days, but then again, it comes down, and I hope it does not, but yeah, it does in most of the cases.
It comes down to the team. Honestly, as I say,
Yeah.
it comes down to the team getting along. It comes down to, yes, there's extraneous factors. Don't get me wrong. If there's no funding, there's no business. There's no
Yeah.
startup anymore. But like
Right.
I've seen startups go bust when they have all the money in the world. They're
Mhm.
soaring for the stratosphere, but the team doesn't get along and the culture's not right.
Mhm.
It just fizzles. It doesn't fizzle and it implodes.
Absolutely. And talk us through your newsletter, Marketing Ginger, which dives deep into the
Yeah.
marketing landscape. Give us more about it.
Oh, I don't sleep apparently. I have that. I have Entrepreneurs Enigma, which is my podcast about entrepreneurship and whatnot. Junto is a gathering of people in like a mastermind kind of thing. So my whole idea behind that was the first junto or junto, as we say in Philadelphia, was put on by Benjamin Franklin. It was called the Leather Apron Club back in the 1700s. And so I was nice. I mean, outside Philadelphia, so it was a nice tip of the hat to good old Ben Franklin. And it's a newsletter about my views on the marketing landscape. And then I usually have like my monologue at the top where I'm expounding upon something that I think is interesting. Hopefully, it's interesting to people who are reading it. Then I find a
Right.
bunch of great links and stuff, and I share out a good podcast that I was on or a good podcast I like. So you'll be in there. You will be in there. So
Mhm.
that'll be fun to get you some extra press in there. And I think we have 1,100 subscribers right now, so people actually tend to like it. So that's exciting.
You're doing it all, right? Agency owner, advisor, podcaster.
Oh, I do that
Which
a lot.
role you feel is the most challenging, and which one do you love the most? An honest one,
I
yeah.
find that it's all challenging in different ways, and that's a very political way of saying it, but I feel like it's not really answering your question either, but I feel like they're difficult in their own ways. I feel like the podcast I've got down to a system. I enjoy it. I have it so that it's scheduled. I do a lot of episodes up front, and I schedule them out so that they're out. I'm good through
Mhm.
September now, and then when I
Mhm.
get mid-August, I start panicking and get more people on the show and get them out to
Mhm.
another few months out because I only release it weekly. Newsletter is a little bit more, oh no, I have to get this out for next week. It's not
Mhm.
as I don't write stuff and then put stuff out 3 weeks later on the newsletter. That's a little bit more work. But I find that the biggest
Yeah.
one, the most stressful is the business. It's the web design, it's the digital marketing, it's the SEO. It's making sure your
Mhm.
clients are happy, that you're finding new
Yeah.
clients and just going with the flow with that and not losing your sight on the prize.
You still code?
I dabble here and there. When I have to, I'm better at fixing things than I am from writing from scratch. I used to be able to I can't write from scratch
Yeah,
right
that
now.
is like a gradual journey. I know I can relate to it completely, right? All right. And give us your favorite client story, Seth.
One of them was actually, it's a local startup in our area. We're not working with them
Mhm.
right now anymore because they outgrew us. But they were a bunch of Navy SEALs who opened up a gun detection
Okay.
company to prevent mass shootings, which is unfortunately one of our MOs in America is our mass shooting epidemic. And so these
Mhm.
guys wanted to start up a company that only identifies guns, not facial recognition, just gun recognition. And so if they're walking on existing um, camera systems, so it's literally just software over the air service,
Mhm.
and it's a human in the middle. It's a really cool system. So I built a website. I did their SEO for 2 or 3 years, and then I helped them get their Series A funding, which was fun. It was exciting.
Mhm.
And then now they're on their Series B. They're a big unicorn in Philadelphia space. So I'm proud of those guys, and that's one of my favorite
Mhm.
stories to tell. Is that look, I helped them back when they were just seed funded.
Lovely. Quite a story. Great.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So, Seth,
Zero Eyes. They're called Zero Eyes.
lovely. I'll see through it. And if there is one piece of advice you'd want to give to aspiring young entrepreneurs and who are listening to us today, that what should they be doing, what should not be doing when they're starting out?
Just do it. Yeah, it's Nike's saying, just do it. But honestly, it really is. When you're young, especially when you're young, there's no reason not to just try something. Like worst things you move home with mom and dad for a little
Mhm.
while and you build something out. If it doesn't work, you get a job. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but ultimately, just get started on it. And there
Mhm.
will be naysayers. There'll be people saying you should just go get a job. Don't do this. This is not the way to do it. But also remember this. It is and not an
Mhm.
overnight success. It's an overnight success 10 years in the making. I've been doing this for 16 years and there's still
Right.
struggles.
Yeah.
Unicorns are always like a few years out. They're not like overnight they walked into a bar and they got funding. That didn't happen. It's always like at least a few years till their success.
Absolutely. Explain us all these logos in the background
Yeah.
that you have.
Yes. One is Public Assembly. It's trying to reform politics in America, which is a big task, to say the least. Give the average person a view, a say in how the politics is run. Mine is an AI SEO play. They're building out their system, and Swiftly is actually a really cool one. They're all cool. Don't get me wrong; they're all cool. Like, backwards, but they're all cool in their own right. But Swiftly is actually a podcast and music royalty networking and data analytics company to help people track the royalties. So apparently, there's a lot of people leaving the royalties on the table and not knowing where the money is.
Right.
So it's a really good, exciting thing that they're doing.
All right, Seth. This has been a brilliant conversation, but before we let you go, a quick rapid fire.
What's that?
A quick rapid fire.
Please go for it. I'm ready.
Your last Google search.
Well, that was Google search. I think it was, how old is that actor? I forget that. Oh, who is that actor on? Do you guys get The Bear? It's a cooking show, The Bear. Is that Jamie Lee Curtis on the screen, or is that another actress? That was my last Google search. Just trying to figure out who the actress was. It was Jamie Lee Curtis because she's old now, and I can tell her mannerisms made me seem, oh, that's Jamie Lee Curtis, but she had long hair, and I'm like, I've never seen Jamie Lee Curtis with long hair, so that's Jamie Lee Curtis on The Bear.
Okay. What did you do with the first paycheck, Seth? First paycheck of your life?
Oh, of my life, jeez. Buy candy? My first paycheck was when I was a teenager. My first adult paycheck, I think I paid my mortgage with it. Nothing exciting, really, but like,
that
first
must
actual paycheck was probably candy or coffee or more realistic, more modern day. First paycheck, like when I started Goldstein Media, was I immediately went to paying for the house, so it was good.
Lovely. Okay, where do we find you on Friday evenings, Seth, after office or after work?
After work, it's usually hanging out with family. Fridays is usually time when we all hang out and watch TV. The kids on the computer, so the wife and I will watch TV. I'll try to stop working at a reasonable hour, which is tough when you're an entrepreneur. You're always working, but we'll watch TV and relax. Family time's important.
Absolutely, it is. And one thing, before we wrap this up, one thing that you might want to change going back, looking at what you did in your earlier life.
I would like to have gotten more into the startup scene earlier. Like back in 2008, 2008 was not a good time to start anything. But I wish in like right after the bubble burst in Silicon Valley, in like the early 2000s, I graduated University of Delaware in 2004. I wish I went in and just started the company then. And I honestly wish I went to business school. I didn't go to business school. I'm learning this by the seat of my pants. So that's always fun.
I was in the college in 7-8, and we were really scared in terms of we wanted to do college for 10 odd years then, because so that this kind of got an over by the time we got out. Lovely. Great, I said, thank you so much once again for taking out time to do this with us. And for audiences, if they want to reach out to you, how do they do that?
Just look for me everywhere. Seth Goldstein or Seth M. Goldstein. I'm Seth M. Goldstein on LinkedIn. Just connect with me over there. And I'm always accessible. So I don't.
He's famous, yeah.
Oh, I'm not
He's famous. You get him everywhere. All right. Lovely, Seth. Thank you so much once again. Yeah.
Thanks for having me, Ranmay.